Hey guys, so I am back with another video. So my tokenism video received a lot of traction, and some of you guys have been saying that I shouldn't be calling Kat Graham black because she is biracial. My tokenism video was about black women being put on the back burner in Hollywood. And although Kat did deal with some issues because of color, texture, and feature-wise she is black passing, I shouldn't have referred to her as a black woman because she is biracial. And you know what? You guys are 100% right. Doing little acts like this in terms of reference does take away from black struggles and black titles. And that's exactly what Hollywood has been doing for the past years. This reference to biracials as black is a takeaway that has trickled down to every aspect of society. And I'm here to shed some light on this one-drop rule that has taken over. So way back when America was disgustingly racist, there was this crazy idea that if you had even a drop of black blood in you, could have been a great-great-grandpappy, that meant you were considered black, no exceptions. The idea may sound super ridiculous, but that's how messed up things were back then. But there were always levels to it. Societal privileges because you were somewhat acceptable. For example, if you were fully black, you had to do the grunt work, but if you were light-skinned or mulatto, the work was of lighter weight. You got to be in the house, but nonetheless, you were still a slave. That's where colorism also comes into play. But you were subject to the same racism and discrimination as someone who was fully black. The rule was meant to reinforce the concept of racial segregation and discrimination against black people. The hatred was deep, but it was also a way to maintain power. When white slave masters or whomever would force themselves on black women and create these mixed children, they were not going to give them the same access as white people. Oh no. No. They weren't distributing their wealth or power because now you have tainted blood in their eyes. You're not pure. So it's white the hierarchy, mixed the middle ground, and black the lower level. Yes, the discrimination was still very much real, but because these mixed race individuals have a close proximity to whiteness, their level of privilege would often supersede that of a black individual. These privileges were conditional and often limited, but they were often made to be or feel superior to black people, and that included treatment not just in the societal standpoints, but the image of the black individual. One thing I will not deny is that we have a lot of beautiful black people in Hollywood that represent us in all shades. Even though the variety is a little teeny weeny, I will not deny it. But there is also a standout commonality when it comes to TV and the roles that are being handed out. What I stated previously about the superiority in the societal standpoints of mixed race individuals and the image, the downside of that really affects black women the most. We know Hollywood has an agenda when they push a story or allow people to represent us. They tend to downplay and or absolve the correct image of the black woman by misrepresenting us or stereotypically displaying us in the media. The Hate U Give was a popular novel written by Angie Thomas, and the book debuted at #1 of the New York Times bestseller. The book soon turned into a movie deal. The story is about Star Carter, who balances the two worlds of the urban community and her suburban school, and how these worlds break once she witnesses her childhood best friend sudden murder by law enforcement. And one of the main inconveniences that audiences had with the movie adaptation was the fact that they casted biracial actress Amandla Steinberg as the leading role in the movie. Amandla did a phenomenal job with this movie, as she does with her other roles. But because the book was so popular amongst young adults, they had an expectancy to the leading character based on the cover of the book. As a dark-skinned girl is portrayed, then they flip it to a light-skinned girl as the leading character. Some fans believe it takes away from the nuances of the book that people fell in love with. Angie did say that when she was writing the book, she didn't get descriptive about what Star actually looked like to keep the young reader's mind open to the idea themselves. But she did say that when she was writing the book, she imagined someone like Amandla as Star. As the author, she also explained she had zero say-so on the cover and what was chosen to portray Star. For a book that does touch on the topic of activism and racial injustices, I'm not surprised they chose a dark-skinned girl on the cover because it seems like the norm. When it comes to social justice and the idea of activism in the front lines, you subconsciously imagine dark skin or brown skin as the overall image. It may sound weird, but when it comes to selling a book like that, your best bet is to put someone of that nature on the cover and not a biracial woman. Because you know who really deals with the real issues when it comes to injustices. Deborah Cartwright, the illustrator of the book, actually explained her disappointment with Fox for not casting someone with a darker complexion. She stated, "I literally just followed exactly what they said in the book. It's really funny because when I just did the deal with Fox, they needed to have a derivative illustration because the actual actress looks so different from the description in the book. They changed it up a bit. And the fact that Fox was like, we're gonna have to lighten your illustration, we're gonna have to change the hair. In the movie, the illustration fades into the character and I gave them the rights to change the illustration. It's kind of a bummer. And it is a bummer. This was also around the time BLM was on the rise, so proper representation, even though Amandla is black passing, is what people expected. I do appreciate Amandla for being aware and speaking about the colorism topic regarding this movie and actually acknowledging it. She stated in an interview, "Something interesting has happened with me and Yara Shahidi and Zendaya. There is a level of accessibility of being biracial that has afforded us the attention in a way that I don't think would have been afforded to us otherwise. Me and Yara and Zendaya are perceived in the same way, I guess because we are lighter skinned black girls and we feel this interesting place of being accessible to the Hollywood and accessible to white people in a way that darker skinned girls are not afforded the same privilege. There is a takeaway with black girls when it comes to getting black roles. They are usually given to biracial women that are black passing, and that's where the lines get blurred at times. That's where the one drop rule comes into play. Halle Berry, an amazing actress, won the Oscar for Best Actress in 2002. Did she deserve it? Yes. But the title is regarded as her being the first and only black woman to win the award and not the first and only biracial woman to win. Thandie Thornton goofy ass got the role of Nina Simone as a biracial woman and took on blackface to continue and pursue it. Even Zendaya for the role in MJ in Spider-Man. Homecoming being regarded as the first black woman to play MJ and not the first biracial woman. Even though the producers wanted to take a different approach to casting more diverse roles, even Peter's love interest in the film was a black passing biracial. It's a constant pattern. When it comes to slave movies or struggle movies, nobody has a problem finding a black cast, but when it comes to regular roles, there's always a select few that can surpass that. Like, they wouldn't think twice to give biracial girls white roles to cosplay as fully white, but it's not a problem when it's reversed because it's deemed as acceptable. And it's not only in movies or TV, it's in music. As I've spoken about in my Virality is Not Longevity video, it plays a major role. Some artists are able to get a constant push compared to others. Recently, Patrick Mahomes was given the first black quarterback to win multiple Super Bowls, instead of the first biracial man to win multiple Super Bowls. Barack Obama, our forever president, labeled as the first black president instead of biracial. But the black side is only acknowledged when it comes to progressive change in America, when every president has been proven to be related to each other. So Thomas Jefferson, George W. Bush, and others that held the Commander-in-Chief title are all distant cousins. The black title is what some people identify more with, and that's fine. That's who you see yourself as, but when the one-drop rule is given out so erratically to the point everyone is just deemed black, that's where the real issue starts to arise. Everybody is just black because of some stupid-ass, racist-ass rule made centuries ago. The effects of slavery are so deep-rooted, discussions like these are sometimes hard to talk about without sounding any type of way. It's not a form of excluding anyone biracial or the experiences they deal with, but there are subtle effects that have taken place because we haven't gatekeeped who is and isn't black. Because let me tell you, white people will be quick to tell you you're not white, so why can't it be the same for black people?
Perceived as controversial. You made a reference to your great-grandmother being African. I just wanted to know, what ethnicity do you identify as?
I'm black.
As black?
I am black. I'm absolutely black.
Okay.
Well, that concludes today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments and make sure you like and subscribe. Toodles!